Allenstonia. Chief salesman of Beaches has kindly brought this in for us. I'm quite sure Alan will tell me a little bit more about it.
Yes, Chris, this was actually built in a greenhouse. And as Chris says, this is the first one. The chassis number is number 63, which is the age of Edwin Richard Foden, which is where ERF gets its name from. After this, this is the very first of a different type of manufacture of commercial vehicles. In the Doctor now, all of the manufacturers had always produced all of their own engines and gearboxes, and in this instance, Edwin Richard Foden decided to build using other manufacturers' products, such as the Gardner engine, the David Brown gearbox. And this policy still exists today, and has been very much a reason for the ERF success.
Thank you very much, Alan. It might be worth just noting that of all the truck manufacturers that Britain has had, ERFs are the only surviving truck manufacturer in existence today. All right, Fodens are still in existence, but they're controlled by an American company called Packard. But ERFs are still controlled by the family, and they're only at Sandbach, so I'm quite sure any of you locals that would like to come to the do at Alton Park, you'll be made more than welcome. Thank you very much, Alan. Right, now just moving along the line. The second lorry in the show today, I can tell you quite a bit about it, belongs to Mr. Plant, who kindly lets me take it down the shows at weekends. It's a 1950, it's a Gardner 4LK engine. It was built in its time so that a young man that could drive a truck but wasn't 21 could drive a truck and carry a 5-ton payload. That truck has not been restored. It's as Mr. Plant worked it, and it's been kept. Right, moving along to one of Mr. Plant's spun-fine new ones. Any of you in the truck industry know Mr. Plant. He never buys a new truck until everybody else has sorted the problems out. This is what they call an E14. It's one of these new trucks that's got a limit on it. It will only do 60 mile an hour, powered by a big E14 Cummins engine. I don't know whether Philip, who drives it for a living, would like to just say one or two words.
No.
No, he said. But there you are, that's the configuration of the truck industry today. As Allenstonia said, it's made up of all parts that are mass-produced by British manufacturers. Right, another friend of mine, George Dakin. Believe it or not, this is an R-registered vehicle. You know, full credit to George for how he keeps it. I'm quite sure George isn't shy, he isn't usually.
Well, it's done over 1.5 million miles. It's 17 years old. It was 3 years old when I bought it off Wincanton Transport. And because I've done 1 or 2 modifications to it, like I've changed the engine and the rear axle. But otherwise, you know, it works every day of the week and it earns its levy.
Thank you very much, George. Thank you very much for coming. Whilst I've just got a chance to wait for the next one, any of you folks that have not been down to the bottom end of the park, you'll find, I think the total is about 130 ERF trucks down there. As from the very first and the last one that will come in the line, I'll tell you quite a bit more about when it comes in. Right, here's a wagon that the registration looks familiar to me. It was an XGP Motors, now owned by Brian Clark. I don't know whether, are you going to say a big lot about it? No, he's frozen up. He wouldn't freeze up last night because he got quite a bit of mail on. But as I'm told, this is now retired. It's kept just for show purposes. Long wheelbase 6-wheeler, I think it's single drive. No, double drive. There you are. Yeah. That's what is known as an LV. Right? F-Reg from Mr. Potter of Wellspool. First time we've had one of theirs at the show. Very nice to see you come along. What have you got to tell me about it?
Well, it's an E14 with 400 Cummins, works every day of the week. That's about it, really. No problems.
Yeah, see, how about that, from a driver's point of view? No problems. That's the ERF truck, so please. Now another friend of mine who's come all the way down from Scotland to be with us for this weekend, Dave Dennis, drives this wagon for Jock McBean in Scotland, who does have a big fleet of ERFs. What have you got to tell me, Dave?
Well, I've had this since it was new, and it runs a fleet of 35 ERF all over the country and that.
There you are. The accent didn't give anything away. pure Scotch. They are. Thank you very much for coming down, and everybody that's been here this weekend has enjoyed themselves that much. They've all said, is the show on next year? So I can tell everybody that's listening here today, yes, it is now an annual event, part and parcel of this show. Right, Montgomery, this must be Wales, mustn't it? I don't think the man's talks Wales. What do you think about it?
Very good.
There you are. Now the configuration of that, you see, is only a two-axle machine against the three axles of the other machines that went on previously. Right, we now move to Mr. Chamberlain. This motor, I know, was part of the Chamberlain fleet in its very early life, and I'm quite sure the driver's going to tell me a lot more about it.
Well, it was bought in 1963. It was the first brand new vehicle my father ever bought, and my father drove it for 20 odd years, and it came out of regular service at the end of the 80s. It was restored then, and it's just a show vehicle now to its present condition.
Yes, there you are. That's a vehicle that has been kept. In this day and age, quite a lot of people, big companies, are buying vehicles up and producing their own liveries on them, but that is a genuine vehicle that's been kept by the company, and it is now left just to show. Moving on to the next one. Well, what can you say about that? That is what is known as the new EC range that ERF have just produced. 14-litre Cummins. Oh, 12-litre Perkins. Sorry. Well, they are. Perkins, only from Shrewsbury. Supply engines to ERF, like Cummins. Unfortunately, there's no Gardners made today that are big enough to go in. What comments have you got on this new motor?
Well, it's due to go in service either next week or the beginning of October. It's be run at 38 tonnes, and we'll just see how it performs against the Cummins that we've currently got in service. Hopefully it'll return the fuel figures and do the job we want it to do.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I think everybody would appreciate what these motors have been built for today are to take on the Volvos and the Scanias that came in and pinched the British market. Anybody that would like to go down the bottom and have a look at these machines, you'll go down there and you'll find the driver will explain to you, in this day and age, you're not double clutching all that all the time. You just put your foot on the clutch, put it into gear, and then you never touch it again. All you do is you have to just press on the brake lightly and it controls itself. There's just one gear stick with a button on the top and you just like playing. Right, now then, this is tip work, so this does a lot of different work from what the Arctics do. Comments?
90% of its work is quarry work, and the rest of it is for different farms.
Well, there you are. This you see, will go in quarries and off ground, all that, where the Arctic tractors are only any good to go on the road. Now I can see by the signs on the front of this that it's got a Perkins engine, and I believe it belongs to Roger Titley, correct?
Yes, yeah, the owner driver from Base Mill Quarry. Do a lot of sort of tarmac work.
So you can see going down in quarries, carting stone, the application is completely different. I can see, by the looks of the tyres, they get chunks out of them and all that sort of thing. But you see, still kept easy sheet, I'm told. You see the sheet on the top, you just undo one side and it rolls itself back. This is another newcomer to the show this year. Mr. Earlham from Chelford. They have been to see us before, but I know the driver out. I was having a quick word with him this morning. Thinks that our show that we've got here has got great potential, and he's coming back next year with somebody else. What comments have you got?
Hello, come back on that. What is it? Sorry. Oh yeah, it's E14 320 Cummins, just 12 months old. I can't tell much more about it.
There you are. Another local man from Chelford buying ERFs, and that's what it's all about. Right, Derek Marston, you see, he's got an old, what they call a KV. And right behind it, one of his new E-Series. I think Derek himself is driving the old one, yes. I'll have a quick word because we've got quite a few trucks to get through here. Derek, comments, old and new.
Pardon?
Any comments on the difference of the old and the new?
Yes, there's a lot of difference. I think they've upmarketed them a little bit, and there's a lot more pleasure in driving the old ones, but we still get pleasure driving the older ones.
Thank you very much, Benny. Thanks for coming along. Junior. What have you got in your comments? I don't suppose he lets you drive that, does he?
Not very often. He seems to get in all the time.
But I suppose you have to go out working for this. Very good. One thing that is worth explaining today, like all these new motors today are fitted with speed limiters. None of these trucks, I know the one behind hasn't got a limit on, but a lot of these the new trucks today are fitted with limiters, and 60 mile an hour is as much as they can do. They cannot go any faster. So the reason they get queues going along the motorway, don't think that the drivers are running together. It's just the fact that they can only do 60 mile an hour, and you can't know, you know, taking it pleasant, getting out of that fast lane and getting faster. Now, Reg Blower, going back a good many years, you were a distributor for ERF Trucks, and is this one that you've kept, or is it one that you've found?
It's one that we had, I believe it was at ERF's, and it used to lock parts in at one time of day. Then we bought it off from second-hand, which we was going to put on the road to fetch parts from Sambat, Middlewich, or whatever. They were renovated off now, like, for this time.
There you are, one that Reg bought direct off the factory a good many years ago and has kept and done it up into its present day state. Now this is one of Mr. Plant's A-series. Very few of these motors are left today. Duncan Meyer, the fitter, I know goes to great lengths to keep these motors in good state. He's struggling for parts these days. One of the very good economic engines, Gardner 240, 8 cylinders there underneath the bonnet. Anybody that knows anything about Gardners will know that this motor made Gardners a lot of money, but unfortunately this is the last of the big engines that really went into the fleets. Comments, Dunky?
No.
He hasn't crossed up. Oh, posing. All right, Mr. Heath. Dunky won't speak to me. Right, now then, he's part of the Alice fleet from South Luffin who support us at this show. I'll have a very quick word with Tom Boone, then we'll get the rest running through because I'm getting the signs we want. I think Tom Boone could have a bad head from yesterday. There you are, recovery truck. I know that it was built as a heavy-duty tractor for Dow concrete. It used to have beams on it. Double axle, diff locks, that will go anywhere, virtually. I'm getting the message to move the trucks on, so I'm going to be very, very brief. Double analysis. E14 320, good motor? Yes? Very good, thank you very much. Got to jam on a bit now, because apparently there's a few more trucks joined than what we were bargaining for. All these men were with us last night at the umpire band at the back of the hall there. We had quite a good session. I'm just moving them on a bit because they want to get some more trucks up. Yes. All these trucks will be out working tomorrow. Sorry about that.